All right. We are back. Does anybody want to end up giving the recap? Does anybody want to end up giving the recap? Ooh. Quite, quite potentially, but I think y'all covered it pretty well overall. So, I think quite potentially, but I think y'all covered it pretty well. Yes, the little snow dragon. So, I think quite potentially, but I think y'all covered it pretty well. Yes, the little think, snow however, dragon. With that, y'all covered it pretty well. So with that, we will get in today's episode. Episode 8, titled, or 9, I'll figure it out in a second. Um, titled, As Above, So Below. Titled, or 9, I'll figure it out in a second. Titled, As Above, So Below. We pick back up where all of you ended up getting a decent rest in the cabin. You activated the crystal, allowing it to warm up the inside, and used a bit of snow in order to kind of cover up what was exposed to the elements. Y'all wake up decently warm. All of you can end up removing one level of exhaustion. Y'all wake up decently warm. All of you can end up removing one level of exhaustion. Y'all wake up. Yeah. What is it y'all do whenever you wake up after having received the slight vision, sort of, that you ended up getting from Mingo? What is it y'all do whenever you wake up after having received the slight vision, sort of, that you ended up getting from Mingo? What is it y'all do whenever You can see he wants to say something, doesn't want to say something. You can see is going to say something, stops himself. Doesn't want to say something. You can tell he has a lot of emotions kind of going through him at the moment. Stops himself. Between fear and hatred and a lot of emotions love. It's so much is kind of going through him. He can't give you a straight answer. So much is kind of going through him. He can't give you a straight answer.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, because it did tell you that he was thinking of a way that might potentially be able to help, and he wants to make up for all the problems that he has ended up creating. Might potentially be able to help, and he wants to make up for all the problems that he has ended up creating. That's completely fair. That's completely fair. He slowly ends up shaking his head. He slowly ends up shaking his head. Afraid? Afraid? What he did and what it does. What he did and what it does. Go ahead and roll me a insight check, please. Go ahead and roll me a insight check, please. You can tell that he physically cannot tell you. You can tell that he physically cannot tell you. You can tell that he physically cannot tell you. Sorry, one more time. Sorry, one more time. Yeah, I'm trying to change it, but I can't hear it for myself. Yeah, I'm trying to change it, but I can't hear it for myself. I wonder if the audio is being redirected. Keep talking. Yeah, I'm trying to change it, but I can't hear it for myself. I wonder if the audio is being redirected. Oh, it's sorry. One more time then. Oh, it's sorry. One more time then. He says that maybe. No, I'm just throwing that off to the world. Okay, let's get rid of that. I'll. That maybe. No, I'm just throwing that off to the world. Yes. Yes. You are right there. You are right there. You are right there. Aha! I've done it. I'm so smart.
Jump scared.
I think probably the biggest thing right now for Glimmer is
I'm so smart.
what would she think?
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Like over the table, like real talk, I know for a fact that when it comes down to it, both animus dragons knowing exactly where this incredibly powerful object is just a terrible idea, but she'd also realize that saying that she wants somebody other than Isopod going with might imply she doesn't trust Isopod.
I mean, that's part of okay, over the table completely. That's why Isopod even offered to ask her in the first place
Yeah,
and asked her opinion of who would be best.
it feels sort of like
It is not.
feels like a
You
sort of
can roll.
unintentional trap, but
You can roll an insight check to see if she sees that he is being genuine.
what do you think, Sushi? Should I do it?
When it comes to player versus player, I'm completely fine with whatever it is that a player versus player comes up with.
Okay, so I got a 14.
That would go against wisdom, right?
If you're doing just a general, I would probably say yeah, wisdom.
Okay, she sees that he is being genuine.
Okay.
And he's not trying to lead her on or anything.
Well, alright, back in character then. Well, honestly, I wouldn't want to say myself, and that's because I have enough secrets as it is. Even just going with is more information than I deserve to have when it comes to something this powerful. And you, Isopod, I think two animus dragons knowing this location, even if you only know vaguely, is too much. Maybe Pine?
Hey, Pine,
Yes, what is it?
would you like to accompany Mango while he hides the book? He is afraid to do it alone. He would not like to do it alone. Ignore the he's afraid part. Over the table, ignore that part.
Yes, I'll go with him to hide it.
Functionally, in game rules, Mango is incapable of being frightened in radius of me, so, you know. Joking aside, yeah.
Yeah, so Frost is going to pick up the book and just nudge Mango with one of her wings. Come on, let's put this where no one else will be able to find it, except for the two of us.
He nods a little bit and then kind of looks over to you. Can you grab it?
Yes, I'll grab it. And so Frostbite just takes the book and starts walking out with it alongside Mango.
Yep. He will.
Okay, and
follow along.
he will run into the wall first.
Yep.
He's a little freaked out. He's like,
Oh.
Yeah. Bro tripped a little bit on one of the loose planks and bunked his head like, ow.
Yeah. Okay. And when they're out, do they leave hearing range at all?
Yeah, they'll be out of hearing range.
All right. Once they're gone, Isopod glances at Glimmer. I'm gonna be completely honest. I do not like the way she was looking at my wings.
I do feel a bit curious about that, but nonetheless, I think there's something going on that we don't know yet.
Yes. That is.
I have to ask,
Yes.
is there anything happening that really concerns you the most?
About this place or the situation?
Right now, the whole situation we're in, because, well, for one, we still haven't found, Mantis.
That is a worry. But right now, ugh, those eyes. That is unsettling. The
It
ones in the
was
dream.
unsettling. It feels really important.
Yeah.
I should probably... No. Well, what do you think, what do you think about that book?
It feels bad, to say the least.
I feel like we shouldn't have opened it, thinking back.
Even with Mage Hand.
Yeah. Is that what you call that?
Well, it's like a ghostly hand, and I think I heard a couple of the humans call magic users mages. So occasionally, so
You name your individual spells? That's
if I
adorable.
use them enough. Like the one we used that caused the ruckus. That was called knock.
That one... Okay, yeah, that one's a pretty fitting name. Knock is... Yeah, it did make a big knocking sound, didn't it?
Yeah, it was quite loud.
That's pretty funny.
I completely forgot that was part of it. Actually, it'd been a while since I cast it.
So if you can cast a spell however you want, why did you include a very loud knocking sound?
I made it up to scare my siblings a little bit. They wanted to be frightened, so. I didn't want to hurt them.
You made it to open doors
Yes, I did.
and also scare people.
Well, yeah. It was just a trick I came up with for my siblings, really.
You know. Okay, that's a good one.
That is.
I still can't see Glimmer, by the way.
Me either.
Oh, why can't you see Glimmer?
Hilarious.
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
They're facing you too.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
why can you not see Glimmer? Let me try this. Let me make not unique, and then we'll make unique again.
And should I roll something for hiding the book, or will it just be that you will have Mingo and I come back when just at some point?
If at any point I might end up requiring a random NPC who might stumble across it, go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check. Can you see Glimmer now?
No.
No, is Glimmer in the room with you now? No. Okay.
Okay, how about this?
How about now?
How about I try to summon her?
Yeah, you summon Glimmer. Maybe that'll help.
I got a nat 1 on my sleight of hand roll.
You got a what?
I got a nat 1.
You.
Mango's. Hold on. If Mango's also. If Mango's
also
Mango
there. Do it.
Oh,
yeah, I was about to say. If Mango's also there, they could work together with it, right?
Mango doesn't want to look at the book.
Who can see it?
At the very least, could pick a good spot to put it, though, right?
Can you see her?
What you do is you end up burying it in a little bit of snow. There we go.
Get out! God damn it. You've never hidden anything before in your entire life.
You are always a good boy. Or a good girl.
Good noodle.
Well, Frost has been mostly focused on trying to be strong and not exactly hiding stuff. But you can often find stuff.
You know what? Fair enough.
By the way, can everyone see Glimmer?
No.
Not a bit.
All right,
No!
that's it. Glimmer, you're dead.
Oh, no!
How about now?
Glimmer!
I am back
There we
from
go,
the
finally.
Yay, she appears!
I had to kill Glimmer to bring Glimmer back.
dead. I had to kill Glimmer to visibly see the Glimmer.
That's hilarious.
I am backwards. I am here
No,
now.
you're not.
Ah.
Yep. That's
Yeah, so
great.
after quote unquote hiding the book,
You tried.
Bro,
Frost is going to
straight
come
up
back
better
with.
to just put it back in the well.
At that point, yeah.
Can I just toss in the well?
You think it's fairly well hidden with your natural one.
Oh, it's so funny.
Bro, if you rolled any lower, you might as well have just given it to someone.
I kid you
Yeah.
not. I kid you not. Like, I'll be honest, I did do like a second roll because of just how bad it was. The second
Oh.
roll was 3. The 2
Oh.
plus my 1 from sleight of hand checks.
Oh.
The first roll was a 2, a natural 1.
Oh god.
Oh dear.
What the goddamn shit?
So, are we ready to continue to climb this mountain?
Yes.
Yes.
That's ready to do
Are we
Kenji.
going to are we going to have a passive wisdom check, passive perception check to see that the book is not well hidden?
Yeah, Glimmer's gonna walk outside and say, "What the fuck?"
And Glimmer walks out and sees the book mostly buried.
Do you? Did you? I'm. What? Is that? What is that? What are you doing? Why?
Can Isopod see it? Can Isopod see the book too?
Yes.
Pine.
I'm not so much of a hider. And then it just dawns on her she could just toss it back in the fucking well.
You know what? At this point, I'm gonna just I'm gonna just pull up a floorboard and shove it under the fucking house. Fuck it, it's going under the house. Shove it in a gap somewhere, and then just
Shove it in a
pack a
gap.
bunch of random shit on top of it so nobody will get to it. Fuck it. That Glimmer is
Just saying
not.
this out loud.
Yeah, she is. She's saying, fuck it. I'm done. I am so. Oh my god. She didn't say that part obviously because it's not in character, but oh my god.
All right.
Poor Frost just
Isopod mutters under his breath.
having to deal with the humiliation of having fucked
Hold up. Wait. I gotta pull something up. Hold on. Objects. Is there an object section?
In the library, yeah.
How do you? I want to put like if you can get like a brick or like a pile of bricks or something like that, and just put it over top of it.
Isopod just mutters under his breath. By clear sight.
You know what? I have to say, remind me never to ask you to hide anything ever again.
Usually much better at finding things now that I think about it.
I have seen.
If you're good at finding things, then how bad are the other people at hiding them?
I've seen better hiding skills from freshly hatched rainwing dragonettes.
I've seen better hiding skills from the snow dragon outside.
I've seen better hiding skills from Queen Wasp.
I think that might have to do with maybe it's because I did not blend very well in the Iceman Kingdom being And then she just gestures to her scales. And gestures towards the snow. But that could just be an excuse.
All right. Well, we've been standing out in the cold long enough. We should probably get moving.
Yes, we should.
I'm gonna actually grab that warming crystal thing too, by the way, just to bring it along with us. Also, we left our dude in there. He's just chilling.
No, he's just chilling you.
He's just there.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We're gonna have to have just for the sake of it, we're probably going to have made sure that he was outside before Glimmer actually hid the thing, so he doesn't know exactly where it is.
Really good idea.
Yeah, so we'll just retroactively have done that. All right, up the mountain we go, I guess. Why did we need to go to the top again?
Couldn't we have flown up there, by the way?
The reason,
Is the weather cleared up now, or?
It was explained in last session. The wind is almost perpetually, constantly so strong that you would basically be carried away if you try and fly, which is why you are trying to climb up the mountain. The entrance to the rebel backup camp, more or less, is about almost halfway up the mountain.
How far are we up the mountain?
You are roughly around the midpoint at this time.
Got it.
Oh, we must be close.
All right. Well, I'm gonna check something real quick.
Can I look out over the edge to see how far up we went specifically?
Yep. You look over the edge, and it looks like if you were to fall, you'd probably end up breaking a few bones, but otherwise you'd survive.
Oh yeah, we're hot. We're close. We're close, guys.
All right. We're gonna head up the mountain.
Alrighty, you slowly begin to make your way around to where you can actually, kind of get up and actually climb.
Can somebody drag me over there? I'm having a really hard time.
General direction.
Right.
Which way are we going?
Where did I drop?
Here's me.
There you are.
Where did I drop Frost and Mingo?
And as you get to right about, that's the building mode, that's not the marking mode. Right about here, you notice a couple of the rebels currently on watch.
Wait a minute.
Hello.
People.
Guys, I lost Frost. Oh, there we go. They fell in a hole.
They fell in a hole.
Dang,
Frosted pine. What's that? Frosted pine fell in the well.
But you see a couple of the rebels in a small little kind of alcove, like a mini half sort of cave, up next to a fire, trying to kind of keep warm a little bit as they look over at you. Oh, I see that you've made it at this point. Good. We were starting to worry. We expected your arrival earlier.
What? How many of there are you left?
There's a decent bit of us, but the majority of us ended up either perishing in the attack or along the trail to get here.
Yeah, I can't imagine this was your first pick.
No, this is the emergency backup. This place is barren. There is no food in this area to really find. I mean, oftentimes we end up grabbing a lot of the pine needles from these trees just to make some tea to somewhat settle our stomachs. It's
pine tea isn't bad from what I've heard.
It's difficult and rough in order to get any form of supplies out here. With what we have now, we'll probably end up surviving a month, and that's only because a lot of us died. Otherwise, we'd maybe survive a couple days.
Well, better than nothing. We can... At least one of us can endure the cold enough, probably has more experience in hunting in the snow than us.
That sure does sound about right.
I do, though. Just have to hope that it will be a little more difficult due to not being able to fly, but I can make do.
Well, yeah. Any amount of food to resupply would be good, honestly. But have you seen the other dragon, Mantis?
Yes, she's in the camp, along with the 2 humans that have been traveling alongside you.
Good, I was worried. I know, while it might not be the greatest, I know Elm's fine.
Mantis is safe.
Oh, we should probably warn them about the other thing that you accidentally created, Isopod. You know, just in case it shows up.
Oh,
Something was
right.
made?
Mostly by accident. And just over the table, Glimmer is saying that while glaring at Isopod, but like in a way that's not easily interpreted as I fucking know what you did and I'm covering for you, but more as a I'm a little mad that it happened kind of thing.
Icepod is so coincidentally, conveniently looking away when she does that. Like, oh, that's a neat rock.
Oh man, look at that
Oh.
over there.
And these rocks, these rocks over here, those are good rocks.
Yeah, it is entirely possible that a somewhat semi-immortal corpse is actively hunting us down.
Oh no, what's that? Oh,
It's a rock.
a rock. Oh yeah, I really like this one. Looks really gray. That's a really cool
Throw
shade of
another
gray.
rock at it with extreme force and shatter it on impact.
No, my rock.
Guess what? Killed the rock.
No.
This start time, Frostbite is just looking at Isopod's wings.
The ones that are folded.
Yeah, just trying to glean any sort of information from them. Like
Glimmer's
maybe some certain patterns.
Glimmer's just gonna look over at Pine with a little bit of confusion and then just kind of shrug it off. So, I'm assuming you are the watch so far.
Yes, we're trying to keep eyes out since nobody was going to be able to fly in here. They have to basically travel here if they're going to get into the camp.
Well, by that measure, then, knowing what we know, I would recommend that if you happen to see what looks like... I didn't really catch a good look. But if there's somebody alone walking out here, coming up towards the mountain, I would be very careful to send someone running to the camp immediately. Don't even try to engage.
Maybe get away from them very quickly too.
Yeah. We need a good amount of warning. We need to do what we can do here. If
Okay.
they happen to be following after us, they would probably wind up killing all of you before we could even get to them if we don't have any warning.
Okay. We'll do so.
Yeah. Don't want that on my hands.
You should head over to the camp, or if you
Yeah.
like, you could end up taking a lookout. Whatever it is that you want.
I would prefer that we at least get to the camp, check it out, and then worry about lookouts in a bit. We're all exhausted. All of us are, really, but
Well, the camp is the entrance for the camp is right next to our tents. A little bit. One of them got buried in a little bit of snow. It's right next to that one. It's got an enchantment over it to make it so that way you can't really immediately know it's there. Just start feeling around the rocks and you'll end up feeling that one of the rocks isn't even real, and you can walk through it.
How did? Oh, one of you guys enchanted it somehow. I take it.
Yes. In fact, actually, it was Moss who ended up doing so.
Oh, really?
Sounds like
Yes.
she's doing pretty fine without. Ugh.
She wanted to
She
be of
probably has
help.
some guidance, right?
I
Right?
don't. Our last mage ended up dying along the way here.
Oh. See, I
Oh,
told you they called their magic users mages sometimes.
well, that's hilarious. Not the dying part, but the fact that they're called mages.
So, well, you should probably get going to the camp then.
Yeah, I'd rather not keep them waiting any longer. At this point, if we wait another minute or two, I think Elm's gonna come wandering down, try to figure out where we are. Can't die and all that, so the cold is just annoying.
Yeah. Well, let's just head on up. As I said, it's close to the
Yeah,
buried
I
tent.
see them. Yeah, Glimmer's going to very slowly make her way up there, being careful not to disturb the snow too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Isopod is sort of lagging behind, mainly because he's kind of creeped out now by Pine constantly looking at him when his back is turned.
Oh, Nitzel, I dropped my mouse.
Well, she's not exactly being subtle about it. She, yeah.
Oh no, I'm totally bringing our guy with us. He's with me.
Also, just to make it easier, by the way, I'm gonna have Glimmer use detect magic. Just to be, I don't want to be fiddling around too much. She's just gonna
Yeah.
tap her forehead with a crystal, and then she's
Yep.
got a whole myriad of crystals with her.
You easily end up seeing the entrance for the rock.
Whoop! Ow! I fell down.
Yep, and now you have to somehow figure out how to get out so you can get over here.
Awesome. I'm just gonna. All right,
I just
let's.
have a guy with me.
Got back out. Haha.
Good job. All right, go
Hey.
ahead and come over here.
Somebody gonna go grab Mango.
I'll grab Mango.
Phew. Phew.
I don't.
This is
Where's
all
over-
inside of a tiny little
You.
cave.
Okay.
Where do we come in
Where's
at
me?
exactly?
You come in right about here.
Wait, where
Okay.
does me go?
I pulled you over. Oh, you are
okay.
way over there. There you are. Oh,
Hey, you
you're
yoinked me so hard.
you're controlling both of them at the same time. There you go. And
Ugly.
because you're controlling both of them at the same time, your other character is just you going farther and farther off the board.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's still, yeah, Isopod is still like a little bit behind the other two.
Yep.
There's Mango.
Mainly just so that he doesn't have the person who's been staring at his wings constantly staring at his wings.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of have to look forward, away from him.
Yeah. So you make it in, and you
Just
end
feels
up
creeped out.
seeing a ton of tents kind of set up in such a way to try and help guard against the cold. It helps that the wind's not there, and you see plenty of spots where there are some fires going to help keep people warm. I didn't populate people in there, but there are people sitting there at the fires and whatnot. And right off in the distance, you can kind of see Mantis and Moss.
Neat.
Are those coffins?
They are.
Oh.
You
Oh no.
also end up seeing every single person who has more than likely died along the way.
Oh dear.
Can't imagine it was easy. The more died, the more bodies they had to drag behind them.
Mm.
We made it.
You see Mantis kind of looks at you guys, and before she can say anything, Moss very quickly runs over and ends up trying to tackle hug Frostpine, but due to the size, is more like a softball hitting a brick wall.
Sponge is going to smile slightly and smile softly and just gently, just gently pet Moss on the head. Yes, hello, Moss. I've heard that you helped out with a bit of magic. I do hope that you're getting better. You're getting better with it.
You end up hearing in a slight response, getting better, and actually speaks the dragon language. It's rough, and it's not very good, but she seems to have learned just a little bit.
Glimmer's gonna probably have heard that and be like, huh, neat.
And with that, Mantis looks over at Isopod. Are you okay? I was so worried.
Isopod's a little bit quiet, but he slightly smiles at her. I'll be fine, dear. Just a rough it was just a rough climb.
Good. And she gets a little closer and then gives you a slight bap on your hand. Now, to end up berating you a little bit in the nicest way that I can, what were you thinking? I know you know better than what it is that you've been doing recently from everything I've been hearing. Why aren't you being yourself? You're acting strangely.
He looks away a bit shamefully, and then he mutters, I don't know what's gotten into me. I'm sorry.
She gently ends up giving you one of those loving type of headbutts. Just promise
Gentle
me.
headbutt back.
Just promise me that you'll talk about it whenever you're ready.
I promise.
Okay. Now then.
He kind of has like a really devastated look to him while he says that, but it's clear he's not lying or anything.
Yeah. Now then, do we know what we're gonna do? I highly doubt we're gonna be able to stay here for too long of an extended time. This place is uninhabitable, and if the rest of this place is gonna look like this after time, what are all the people who are gonna do who live here?
I do want to.
Meanwhile,
I do want to speak to the others about this. Actually, what was the name of Joy's writer again?
Joy's writer is Poison.
Right. Do you know where Joy and Poison are? We did come across some information that could potentially help with things, but it is something that we would all have to discuss to get a better idea of it.
meanwhile, Glimmer's gonna look down and realize, hey, wait a minute, this dude's still following us, buddy. You can go. You don't have to follow us anymore. You okay?
It's cold and you guys are very warm.
That's fair. Here,
Particularly,
tell you
Animus
what.
the one that has fire.
T- Tell you what though, she's gonna grab like a stick off the ground and just like cough a bit of smoke at it before realizing, wait a minute, shit, it's not gonna work. Uh,
Hold up
I
a
forgot.
moment. Well, would I be able to fireball the stick without hurting anyone?
No.
Oh.
No.
Can you fire a bolt?
No, just fireball.
No,
We do not
dear.
have bolt.
You have
Wall of fire.
they got miniature wall of fire around it. Yeah.
I will
Very.
make a miniature wall of fire.
I
Yeah,
will. I will be extremely nice here, and I will allow you to use a single spell point to create a very miniature, like stick-sized wall of fire.
Yeah, like, you're
Yay.
imagining, you're like imagining condensing the spell down to a very tiny point
Yes.
without causing it to explode like a fireball.
Yes. Like, there you go. That
What if
should help.
fireball, but really small?
And not
Oh,
very explosive.
oh, thank you. This tiny little bit of fire is definitely comparable to a giant dragon that I can lay down on. And he
Go find more wood.
starts heading off. Also, yeah, he is okay. And he starts heading off.
There's plenty of
As-
fires. Just put that stick in
as-
it. It might explode, but hey.
He is freezing as he leaves to head to one of the fires.
And it's better.
Enjoy the
That fire
stick.
was. Yeah, that's a that animus touched stick. It will always burn, but never burn.
It'll always burn without burning out.
The ever burn
Oh,
stick.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that won't stop being around, where's Elm?
You
Oh, yeah,
do
I
not
didn't
see
see her.
Elm.
Yeah, she was more or less asking that to everybody.
Hmm.
Yeah, isopod. Oh, right. Where? Mantis, do you know where she is?
I do, and I also have the answer to the other question that you had about poison and joy. Joy
Why do I have a bad feeling?
Joy didn't make
A
it.
very what?
Joy died. Poison is currently over where they buried Joy.
Oh, damn
Where,
it.
where is that?
It's just outside, closer to the top of the peak. Joy apparently really liked the view of different things, and so Poison took it upon herself to take Joy up to the top.
Hmm.
She... Please, did she... I'm going to assume that she had help taking the body up there, because I can't imagine a single human being able to take a full-grown dragon up to the peak of a mountain.
I don't know. Piss Elm off enough, but still.
As for Elm,
Like, speaking of.
apparently Elm can't die from what I've heard, but can
Yeah.
still be frozen solid. So Elm is in the coffin over here, frozen solid, just waiting to be not frozen anymore.
I can't say I'm surprised.
I don't even know Elm as well as you do, and I'm not surprised.
We should probably go help with that.
Elm doesn't
Yeah.
seem to really like help from anybody, and so refused
Technically still
help.
in my technically still in my custody by Rainwing law, so I can see why. I'm gonna go take care of that. She's gonna knock on the coffin a little bit to be polite before opening it.
Why did you knock on the
knocking
fridge?
on the
Your
knocking
salad
on
might
a
be
vampire's
dressing.
coffin? You wake them up like, hello, sir. I need to speak to you about something.
Hello, we've been trying to reach you about your Eagles extended warranty.
God.
We've been trying to contact you about your thralls.
But
God,
sure enough, you end up seeing a frozen elm just sitting in here.
Casually.
Glimmer's just gonna put the warming crystal down straight on top of her. That'll help in about maybe 15 minutes.
Just
Defrost and all that.
apply the torch. So
Talk about defrost in front of the frost.
Now she's just pine. Anyway.
We've defrosted pine.
Hell yeah. No. She's just trying to thaw out Elm real quick. She just put the crystal down and just sitting there holding her hands together, just staring.
it's like, why do you?
It's like
keep
watching your
doing
food in the
this?
microwave. Just
So-
humming to herself in just one long pound stretch.
Suddenly the Jeopardy theme starts playing. Da 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 da.
Oh, okay.
Mute Smoke just starts playing that.
God. Oh god.
So
Imagine that's the music that has been making the entire fucking time. Just a Jeopardy theme.
Alright.
Alternative
alright.
universe where the Jeopardy theme is a source of discomfort and bad tidings.
with that, what is it that y'all plan to do?
Well, assuming that Elm will eventually thaw out, Glimmer's just gonna hang out there for a bit until that happens.
In that case, everyone could have their individual times alone, should they wish. Kind of separate. Each of y'all has an individual character, and one of you could take Mango along if you wanted to get a little bit of extra there as well.
I feel like,
As I assume
honestly,
everybody
yeah.
wants to go to Poison together.
Yeah, just give some space before heading up top.
We definitely need that.
Yeah, Frost is going to take Mingo along with Moss just to try to introduce one magic human to a very old magic dragon.
Okay.
Alright.
Magic dragon, see if he could help her at. See if maybe we could help Mingo at all with understanding magic.
Isopod is going to take Mantis over to a fire away from everyone so that just chat about the happenings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
At some point within the next 5 or so minutes, Glimmer's gonna realize, I think it'd be better if the corpses next to this one were not defrosted. Just gonna drag the coffin over slightly to get it away.
Probably a good idea.
Just a random rebel. Boy, what you doing with that coffin? I'm just
thawing out my friend.
I'm just frosting the human that can't die. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The fucking foreigner is so fucking weird.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it then.
Who wants to take their turn first?
I guess
All right.
I'll go first.
Okay. After a little bit, about half of an hour, due to how cold it is up here, you can end up seeing Elm has slowly defrosted enough to where she is starting to move again and kind of opens up her eyes. Ow.
What exactly happened that you got frozen solid like that?
There was a bit of an ice patch that was apparently a little thin. This mountain
Mm.
is completely surrounded by a lake or part of the ocean. I'm not entirely certain. I fell in. Ow.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an executive decision. Would healing magic work with like easing the pain of being defrosted?
Yes, I will say it will.
All right, all right. I'm gonna just dump like 10 points of lay on hands.
Good enough.
Yeah, that should help. It's just like a pulse of like green energy from the
Mhm.
crystal in her palm.
Yeah, we'll say
That
it's
should help.
a slow and constant stream.
Yeah, just adding to the heat from the crystal to sort of mend any ice crystals inside of her skin that are still hurting.
Slowly, she will begin to sit up as she has more or less fully thawed at this point, and kind of stretches, and you hear a couple of pops of her bones and whatnot that were kind of stiff. Uh,
I
so,
Were you conscious the whole time?
yeah.
That must have been awful.
What I've noticed is that, uh, at least as far as I'm aware, the time between death and I guess awareness is the right word.
Yeah.
Consciousness is mm, only a few minutes.
Huh. Good to know. I'll have to tell that one to the healers back home.
Yeah, they'll just have to end up drinking a weird random bottle of liquid that is ever so slightly glowing first before they can end up getting what I have.
If everyone had it, there would be so many problems.
I can imagine. Um, so what is it that's happening now? Where are we? I didn't quite get a chance to see where we made it.
On, on top of a very frozen mountain. Serpent's
Ah,
Peak, I believe.
so we did make it inside. Okay.
You might want to look around.
Yeah, she looks around. Some of us made it.
Not as many as I'd hoped, um, but enough that we still have people.
She finally starts to step out of the coffin, apparently aware of where she was at this point and not entirely liking the idea of just staying inside of one as she kind of slowly begins to scoot it back.
Glimmer's just gonna flick it with her hand, and it just slides over. I Elm, I have to ask, why did they put you in a coffin? Did they think you were dead? Like they know you can't die, right?
I think it was so some people didn't have to get freaked out over a frozen body. It's hard to hear whenever
Like
your ears are frozen.
yes, but they have fire. They could have put you next to it.
I don't know if they knew how my immortality works.
Okay, as long as you're okay, I guess I can't be too mad. You can carry that crystal around for a little bit. You're probably still a little jittery.
It definitely is a little cold.
Yeah, that'll do you better than I will. At least I'm freezing. You can see the Glimmer's coughing up a bit of smoke right now too. She has kind of been hiding it from everyone, but she's been out of her special medicine for that for a while now. Now that she's away from people, she's coughing more.
And with that, we'll jump over to one of the other two. Who wants to go next?
And is that's why I want to go next.
That sounds like more of a will you go next, please?
I just want to see if you go next.
I'll go next.
I don't want to just jump in when someone else has something to say. Come on.
Alrighty. With Isopod and Mantis sitting by the fire, they kind of somewhat end up kind of touching wings and whatnot, just as husband and wife, more or less, just kind of staying close, staying warm.
Again, Isopod's been a little bit jumpier after everything that's happened. But he started to open up about exactly what happened. And at some point, while he's telling her about how he felt like he couldn't really control his body when he was feeling that urge to just put that crystal in, and how when he felt himself do that, he starts to actually break down in front of her because he didn't want to put that crystal in her inside of not sword, but he felt like he had to. And when he tried to tell the others, they just didn't believe him, treated him like he was some kind of liar.
She gently ends up kind of pressing the side of her head against his and kind of just stays silent, just letting Isopod kind of talk without any form of accusations, judgment, malice, just there, just listening. Eventually, after Isopod somewhat recovers, is finally whenever she'll end up starting to talk. I think I understand what you mean.
He's shaking, still kind of heaving, but he's listening.
Not that I've ever been in a situation like that before, because I don't think I could rightly say that I have. But you've been through a lot, and I can tell that you've cared a lot. And I can also tell that you somewhat feel responsible for a lot of the stuff that's happened, because I think that you think that you're the one who ended up sending me here, and that ended up causing a lot of this to happen, which might be the case, it might not. I don't think anyone will ever truly know if that is what happened. But I'm pretty sure that no matter what anybody says, I know you, and I know you're probably going to always think it is you who did it, no matter what. A lot of things happen, and some of them suck. But I think that it's the small moments like these, as she ends up taking her wing, and instead of just kind of slightly touching it, she ends up wrapping it around Isopod. Her massively larger size than Isopod, easily causing her to more or less completely enrapture him. Where
He
everything's
sniffles a bit. Oops, sorry.
yeah, where everything's just a little bit more simple, a little bit more calm, even if it's stressful. It's the moments you have to end up looking back to. They end up helping. It'll never probably ever perfectly fix everything, but I know that at least having you here with me ends up helping me.
Am I still here?
Yep. If you've been saying
Okay,
something,
just
I haven't heard you.
No, I was just checking.
Mhm.
Because a little bit of a crash happened over here on Tailspire, at least.
Mm.
So Isopod sniffles a bit. Can you summon me over to the board that we're on?
Yep. I guess I never
Thanks.
fixed that.
It's fine.
Just...
So
There we
Isopod sniffles, and he sighs. I'm on the board. Yes, he says that he's on the board, I promise.
I'm on the boards.
Amazing.
Anyways, what he actually says is, I'm the reason this is even happening. I sent you here. It was an accident, but I still sent you here. And now, it seems like everything I've done recently is messed up. They don't trust me. I've acted horribly to them. And now we have an undead sword hunting us down. And it's all my fault. I felt like I couldn't control it, but it's my fault. What kind of monster brings someone back from the dead when they could be in peace? When they could just be resting?
I know that if you were to end up dying, I would end up probably doing the exact same thing that you did. I would try to end up bringing you back because I wouldn't want to be here without you.
Isopod is actually silent a little bit. And he's started fiddling with his amulet again. Do you think I should show them how I really am? He's implying that he's been thinking about taking off the amulet so they can really actually see just how bad off he is.
I would only do that after they've earned your trust.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but Tailspire is dying.
Oh, okay, it's not just me then.
Thank you for...
Sorry.
Thank you so much, Tailspire. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Isopod sighs to himself. He's started tapping at the gem and the amulet. But really, I should be the one to gain their trust after all the trouble I've caused. Don't you think?
That might be the case, and it probably is the right thing, but I will completely admit I'm selfish when it comes to you. I'm very selfish when it comes to you, of all people.
I'm selfish when it comes to you too, my love. My most beloved Mantis.
Well, between the both of us, I think that you probably have the more level head between us, whereas I probably have the probably slightly better moral compass. But I will say that It's probably the right thing to do. I'm just selfish, but I will let you decide if you want to show them or not. Until then, I shouldn't end up keeping you for too long. But perhaps later tonight. And she kind of breaks off a little bit, given the implication.
Isopod stares for just a few seconds before he gets it. And he's like, oh! He doesn't say it, but he's just like, oh. And he gently
Oh my.
nuzzles her. Later tonight, my love.
She nods. You should go. I can't keep you here forever.
No,
And,
if I could stay here forever with you, I would.
and with that, we'll hop over to Frost Pine, Mango, and Moss.
Yeah, so Ross is just doing her best to introduce to. Sorry, give me one.
No,
So he's trying
I'm just
to
putting him over
communicate
here real
to
quick.
Tomas. Tomas, Tomas, this is Mango. He has magic like yours. And she just stops for a moment to try and make sure that Moss understands what she's saying.
As far as you could tell, it's kind of broken communication, but it's still kind of getting the point across and whatnot. He same.
Being simple enough for Moss to understand. No, what? Were you just saying something, Sushi?
Yeah, she says he same me.
Yes, that is very. Yes, that is exactly the case. And then still trying to keep things simple for Moss to understand. Mingo, can you help her? Can you help Moss understand magic?
You see Mango kind of think a little bit. Her magic is not not the same as mine, but maybe I can try.
Thank you. At least enough for her to start to gain a real grasp for it. Because as it stands, her magic is. I suppose she stops it. Ross stops to think.
Wild by nature?
Chaotic and wild. Almost determined by her emotions most of the time, it seems.
He nods a little bit. I'll
In fact, I almost thought that it was you. In fact, I almost thought it was somehow her that caused us to have that dream that first time when I found you.
um maybe perhaps I could stay here and help her teach her if I can. Um, I'm not sure that I'd be able to, but um, I could try. You're all trying to help me after all.
Yes, that would be for. I think that'd be greatly appreciated. And in fact, I think the two of you are very similar, very unlike me. You're both gentle and very timid. And I think that's might be why might be why I've been so protective of Moss and why I immediately took to protecting you. Frost just stops for a moment, then lowers her head down enough to be eye level with Moss. I hope that you understand, but I'm sorry that if I've been too much, if I've been too overbearing with you. But I still promise that I will do what I can to protect you and make sure that you you realize that amazing potential that you have. She looks back at Mango. And as for you, I'll do everything that I can to ensure that you have a future that's worth living and free of whatever slavery that you have. Unless you're tired of this life. She just goes silent, just letting things sink in. Just like letting her promises hanging in the air, but also being also just letting sink in that she's fine with whatever route Mago may choose to go with in terms of the future.
He kind of thinks for a little bit himself and nods a little. And it's roughly around this time that everybody's kind of finished their own individual things. Do you all kind of begin making your way towards each other again?
Yeah, Glimmer carrying Elm on her back while Elm carries the crystal is extra warm and toasty. Just kind of meets up in the middle, I guess, where everyone else is.
There we go.
Where is Elm's little character anyway?
I had Elm on your back. There we go.
Oh, I cannot see.
Oh no! All right, sorry, Elm. You have to die.
Oh.
Elm is dead, but not really.
There we
Elm
go.
is immortal.
Is Elm back now?
I crashed.
It
Oh.
seems like all of
Moved-
you are crashing. I don't know why.
Moved by the owner to another campaign.
Mm.
Oh,
That's weird. I don't know
I
why
will
everyone's
say.
crashing.
Oops, sorry. I don't know.
What are you saying, Athena?
Your turn. I was gonna say that I will mention that Isopod is being very careful not to be too close to the fires because he doesn't really want his wings to be seen as easily in
I
the
am
firelight.
going to go out on a limb and can I have Glimmer guess what's going on here?
Go ahead. The question
Could
is
I
whether
do?
maybe it would be a. What would that be? Would that be insight or perception?
I would
Both
say
have
investigation.
Investigation. Okay.
all right, and I was gonna say maybe you could argue medicine would be useful for this because knowing the
Oh yeah,
anatomy of
anatomy.
different dragons.
You know, that's a good point. Let's say either investigation or medicine, whichever is stronger.
What do you think, Sushi? Do I raise a good point there?
I think investigation is good. I would say if it was more like Vampire the Masquerade, there's things called like enigmas, which is more kind of like a puzzle, and that would be
Okay.
better. But I don't think medicine would necessarily apply here, because while you could end up arguing about the biological aspect,
You
it's
still have to look to find
I
out.
I think you still need to have the knowledge of the pattern itself that you're looking for.
You know,
Fair.
fair point.
Investigation time.
Oh!
That's a 5. Give me one moment.
Wait a minute, how many levels of exhaustion are we at?
I have 1 left.
Yeah, everybody should
Okay.
generally be at 1 or 0 right now.
Okay.
Oof. My Roll20 is lagging like hell. I think it might be the internet struggling a tiny bit.
Yeah,
We're both on Tailspire and also Roll20.
yeah.
And Discord.
And Discord.
Alright, I'm thinking. I don't know. I think maybe Glimmer doesn't know as much about those kinds of dragons as she does about the ones she's lived with.
Yeah, she's more used to rain wings and night wings.
Yeah. An occasional sandwing.
Yeah.
All right. So you
I
all
would
meet
say that
back
because
up.
of Frostbine's what Frostbine does like being often doing stuff for like nobility and particularly royalty. I say royalty. She would have had a few times where there was seaweed, where there was other royalty of other tribes. She would have
Aw.
a bit of an idea.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
what are you
Frostbine's
talking about?
Frostbine's background, like as to why she would be looking out for certain things.
I'm so confused right now.
I-
What about her background?
I think what Frostapine is saying is that they have probably ended up seeing maybe one or two of the royalties of the Sea Wings before, maybe a few of the sons out of the like 32 that she had. She had an insane amount of
Yes.
sons. Oh my gosh. So Frostapine more than likely saw maybe one or two of them and kind of recognizes the pattern.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, because that was confusing as hell. Wait, why though? Like, how close was she to royalty to be able to see that?
Well, this is a good moment to explain a little bit of your history, if you would like, Frostapine.
Yeah, so I don't know where it's going. On the spot because I had to speak up.
Would you like?
She does
Would you
like the
like
main
me
thing that
to? You go first. Shall I speak then?
My brain just don't even know. Shut up.
Okay, I'll explain a little bit of the backstory then. Frostapine is more or less distantly related to royalty, not necessarily royalty themselves, but distantly related, and
Distantly
has
related.
been taught by some of the more higher ups in that area, and thusly has been around royalty more often, like Queen Snowfall, and Queen, was it Avalanche before Snowfall?
Glacier.
Glacier. Thank you. Couldn't remember.
Close enough.
And Queen Glacier beforehand. Being fairly regularly around them, not entirely accepted, but decently around them, learning how to end up fighting, both physically and mentally, and thusly has ended up seeing some royalty occasionally come in and whatnot here or there.
She
Wait,
did
so
eventually.
how distantly related is she then? Because it can't be that distant.
She's a daughter of a nice man from a no from a noble family, but honestly, she also being a hybrid she is, and her mother having almost Nightwing like scales, she wasn't exactly accepted by her relatives, but after them,
So a noble family, but not a royal family?
she did. And I I put myself on the spot.
I'm sorry. I'm just like really confused about this, and I'm trying to
Yes,
understand it.
a noble
She-
family.
Yes, and because basically she would But you would, at some point, she started to be called on for like other nobles and even like even some princes to act like as a bit of a body certain situations.
As
So
sorry, as what?
as a bodyguard.
As a bodyguard. Okay,
Yes.
that makes a little more sense. I'm sorry if I seem like really pushy about. I was just incredibly confused and wanting to understand. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for explaining.
Yeah, admittedly, I was trying to figure it all out without asking too many questions in the background, so
Instead, I asked all the questions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just put
That's
myself on
fine.
the spot, so it's like my brain just didn't want to work.
Putting me on the spot with some of my characters is really fucking evil too, to be fair.
Yeah.
I do not know enough.
I will actually mention that Isopod is actively trying to hide his wings at this point. Again, more just he does not like the way Pine has been staring at him.
Between that and what the book ended up saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would Isopod start to suspect that it might be because that Frostpine's stairs might be related to what?
Surprisingly, no. He's just becoming increasingly more self-conscious of his wings.
It's at this point that Glimmer very much understands something is happening, but she doesn't quite know what or why, so she's
Like,
just gonna ignore it.
She's like, something's happening between them, but not my problem. They can work it out.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know about that.
Oh, now then, should we go and find poison?
Probably a good idea.
I would also agree that it's a good idea. Ooh, excuse me.
If
Yeah.
it would be possible for you to just teleport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
So would you be able to teleport us just to where poison is? So
I
we don't have to
can,
navigate.
yes. That's
I
I could do that.
it.
Yep.
I'm
We can
probably
navigate.
gonna let Elm stay here so we don't have another frozen Elmsicle.
Yeah. We don't want another Elmsicle.
Yeah, Elm can just sit by the fire with the crystal of hot.
Bam.
Frost is
Bam.
going to leave
Bam.
Frost is going to leave Moss with Mango.
Alright. And then I need where? Poison. Bam.
Aha! Poison!
And there you guys are.
Yeah.
Well, Glimmer's gonna be pretty quiet for a moment. Just let other people talk.
I was just readjusting myself.
Yep.
You all make the rough and long trek slowly up the spine of what looks like maybe a snake.
Oh.
It's rocky, bony, but it definitely feels like it might have actually been alive at some point, potentially.
Oh. Spooky.
Especially and yes, they are actually somewhat burning, glowing looking eyes of the head.
Isopod sees this and shudders. Creepy.
And you see Poison kind of sitting there on the edge, feet dangling kind of over the edge, as she just looks out over the land. Next to her, a small little pile of rocks where you're assuming she ended up kind of burying Joy.
Glimmer's going to as an effort to, I suppose, just stay neutral right now. I'm just gonna idly investigate just what the heck is going on with this giant snake thing. And over the table, I see what you did, by the way, Sushi. I see what's there.
Oh no. What do you mean?
You know what I mean, Sushi, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Oh, I see.
What do you see?
I see things.
I see things.
I see things that should not be in a giant snake's mouth.
Same. I see a way in.
I occasionally hide things on the map and I'll show it to stream.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at the stream. I just happened to find it. Because I
Yeah,
was passing, the camera was like sweeping over it, and I saw some gold, and I'm like, what the hell?
How the hell does someone get that in there?
Magic.
But yeah, Glimmer definitely just doesn't want to intrude at the moment. It does wind up coughing a bit though, and a bunch of smoke just floats up into the air to get swept away by the wind.
You will notice that it's even more cold up here due to, you know, nothing blocking the wind anymore and the higher altitude.
Yeah. I realize. Sorry.
Also, just going to go up and drape a wing, drape a wing over poison just to try and block out the cold winds a bit. I am just quiet for a moment, and then goes. I'm sure that we would find joy being the same way if you were in. If it was you that was buried instead of him. That just goes to show, let's say that I think that the two of you are truly close.
I helped to raise him whenever I first got into the Dragon God before leaving. He basically ended up knowing me all of his life, and even my own life, I barely had any life before him. Most of us end up getting picked up at a young age. Both of our lives were basically each other's. Shared everything, as oftentimes the Dragon and Rider does in the Dragon and God.
I see. He's totally just shielding himself from the wind.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, Glimmer is actually doing that. She does not like the cold.
Yeah, it just so happens that this is in a nice, shaded spot, too.
Yep.
Yep.
I gotta do this. Hang on. Hang on. Come on, where is it?
Yes, so many ways for us to go before this is all over, but for the sake of everything, I know.
How do I do that?
Click on your mini and tap
yeah.
enter, and then start typing.
Oh, let me see.
Okay, real talk though. I'm gonna do something. What
It-
the
It's the
hell?
It's your little snow dragon.
snow dragon.
How's it
How
here?
did it? How did it get up
He
here?
just appeared. Wait, how did that thing get up here? Oh, I knew it was magic. I knew that weirdo hat was magic that I put on it.
I see you.
Anyways,
Snowy the snow worm.
What sort of future did you and Joy see for these lands if things ended for the better?
well, if we can manage to eventually somehow wrest back control, I'm not sure how we'd be able to take care of everyone here. All that I know is that the land is slowly dying, and we're not welcome on yours.
Oh, it wasn't exactly a case of you're not welcome. It was a case of that king saying that we essentially saying that we need to hand over. There's just so much going on. But if things can be changed around,
Oh yeah, Misty
changed these
Step.
lands, then isn't that worth fighting for? In all honesty, we have the dragon that is behind all the magic.
Do
The
you
dragon
really,
that was essentially forced into servitude.
do you really
And I do
think
have some.
that we would be
Oh.
accepted after the attack that's being sent that way? They're probably even more than halfway there already.
Or she's just going to stare down in shock at poison. The what now?
The king, he's already ended up sending ships off back towards your land. It's just dropping out of the sky.
Yep,
just
yep.
right, just
That's
right,
my ring moment.
just right next to this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to Misty Step over to the snake mouth. I don't. Where am I?
Having trouble with your teleportation magic, I see.
Yeah,
Here,
I don't know where I went.
let me see if
Go.
I can get you in there.
Yeah.
I believe you
There you
are
go.
in the
Thank you.
void.
Yay, I'm in. Hacker voice. I'm in.
Hacker voice.
He totally said
I'm
that.
in.
He totally said that out loud too. Not the hacker voice part, just I'm in.
Or like nobody could hear over the shriek of the wind.
Yeah.
We'll keep this scene going, but I will get to what you find in there in a second.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, he just struggled a little bit with his Mr. Stuff. It's fine.
But yeah, but she says the king sent ships, a lot of them, off towards your land.
Proximal is just going to grab Lally and shake her head. We'll have to get back to camp immediately. We have to try to figure out a way to. We need a plan of things, and hopefully, what I have in mind will work. But we need to discuss aspects of it. I'm sorry. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go back? Are you ready to go back at the moment?
You see, she ends up taking a deep breath. The pain, obvious, not physical, but the mental pain of having lost the closest person to her as she slowly ends up kind of standing up. I think so. Frosted, I would like you to go ahead and make me a perception check. You are the only one able to allowed to do this, as you are used to colder temperatures and snow falling and whatnot.
I got a 25.
All right.
damn.
You notice there is a fairly sizable force on its way over here.
Oh.
Coming from which direction, I wonder?
You're not
Wasn't
too entirely certain on who sent them, but they definitely don't look nice, to say the very least.
Poison, we need to get everyone away out of the camp now.
There's nowhere left to go. We can't.
Glimmer's going to approach at this point. There's someone coming?
Frost is going to point at the force that's headed their way.
Oh. I think we can take them. We have the advantage. I mean, really, who's gonna like, what are they gonna do? There's only one way up. Only one way out, yes, but it'll take some time to find us.
This is going to open her mouth to argue, but then just stop and think. If we can manage it, then that might just work.
We need to make sure nobody gets away, but
No. We'll make sure that one of them gets away out to give them a message to deliver.
no. Think logically. If anyone survives, they'll know where we are. We won't be able to survive very often, constantly under siege if we have to leave. I'll be frank, there's not enough people here to survive without us.
This one's just going to tap her talon on the stone, on the stony surface beneath her. What? I'll just say it right now, but what I'm planning is that we issue a challenge to the emperor. Whoever, I will face his own Iron Wing, who, as I remember, is the rarer types, faster than the rest, faster than most other Iron Wings, and if I win in that fight, then he will have to answer to some demands. But if we can take out this force, then it would send a message of might, and so if he refuses, then he would just seem like a coward.
To be fair, I don't think he particularly cares at this point. If we can just defend this location without him knowing what happened to his forces or where they went. I mean, he knows where they went, but he knows they're gone. They don't know exactly where we are. Maybe we ambush them in the field before they get here, but
yes,
I think our best bet would be to defend here. Make sure to get away. Challenging the Emperor means nothing if he just says no. I don't think he cares if he looks like a coward or not. His whole civilization is at risk here. whatever's left of them. They're off on their way to our home. If that's even what he sent, knowing what creatures he has.
Meanwhile, inside of the serpent's peak mouth, you opening the chest, Isopod?
Would using an Arcana check help to see if there's anything magical about the chest?
It could potentially help. You could see if maybe there's any runes, or if maybe there's like a slight shine to it or something like that. So yeah,
I would like to do that before I even try to open it.
go for it.
I got a 13. Wait, can I, hold up. Can I use magical guidance
What's
to
that do?
reroll my d20? It helps me, basically it allows me a reroll if I fail. Well, did I fail actually?
You do not notice any magic on it. I will let you decide whether you want to end up re-rolling or not.
I'm gonna use the sorcery point to reroll that for a 19.
With a 19, you notice that all of the magic that is there is contained inside of the chest. There's nothing about the chest itself that appears to have anything on it.
So I think I'm going to back up a little bit so I'm not right up on top of it. And then I'm going to use Mage Hand to then open it.
You open it, and you can see that the entire chest is completely filled with poison. And it's not frozen. It's all like still liquid and whatnot.
Interesting.
You can see, however, that underneath all of it, somewhere buried inside of all of that poison, there appears to be something ever so slightly glowing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing you have resistance to poison damage.
Yeah, I sure do. I would still like to tip it over toward the cliff face away from the others. That looks like there's a hole over here.
Yeah, you do so, and you kind of spill it out, and it starts dropping out from the jawline and the back. Y'all kind of notice something spilling out from the snake, kind of off on the side.
It's a bad omen if I've ever seen one.
It's like, oh god, oh no, it's alive! What have I done? She's dead, or he's dead.
Okay, so I have poured some of it out. Am I able to grab the thingy without taking any damage now?
Yes, you can see some sort of kind of circular-ish object.
Okay, I would like to pick it up.
You pick it up, you kind of shake off a little bit of the poison, and as far as you can tell, it looks like a bangle of some sort, something that you could wear.
Maybe you should bring that to the rest of the group.
You know, last time I brought something to the rest of the group.
Get it. Wear it.
The circlet of become undead sword. Anyway.
Right? Is there any way I can make another Arcana check to see if I can figure anything else out about it?
You
like
can
what it
indeed.
does?
You
Oh,
might
boy.
not figure out what it does, but you could probably figure out a little bit more about it.
I caught another 13.
Another 13.
Yeah.
I will tell you what you learn with that, and you can choose whether you want to end up re-rolling or not.
Right.
As far as you can tell, this would be considered more of a legendary item. However, it looks like it also comes with some downsides with it.
Sniff, sniff. Yeah, I don't want to put that on yet. I'm gonna tuck it away, and then Misty step back to
Do
the
it.
others.
Misty step away.
I'm not really thinking about actually showing it to them, but if somebody mentions, hey, where were you at? I'll probably,
No, Glimmer knows.
yeah.
Plus, a friendly reminder that Glimmer does frequently check up on everybody using detect magic.
Yeah.
She will smell it.
Oh god, she smells it.
Something's fishy here.
Speaking of which, Isopod, we have to get back to the camp. Well, she's gonna gesture back behind her. I don't know if you could see them, but there's apparently enemy forces coming our way, and we need to hide. If they find us, we need to be ready to fight.
Ambush tactics?
And none of us blend in very well. We should probably get down from here in case they see us.
Yeah, we should. Alright, away we go, I guess.
Poof!
Poison,
Poof.
do you have
Hmm.
anything explosive on hand? At the camp?
No, I don't think we were able to keep anything explosive. Probably the closest thing I could come to that is if you could make maybe an avalanche happen. It looks like
I
they're
don't
going to
know
be
if that's...
passing through a ravine soon enough.
That's exactly what I was playing. Having happen.
We could just get
Maybe
really loud.
we could just cause an accident. That's the best way to deal with the enemy.
Yeah,
Accidental.
just a little oopsie.
Alright, we should probably prepare to head out that way then.
Yeah,
How long, wait, sorry, over the table question. How long do you think it would take, based on what we can see distance-wise, for them to get to us?
It's looking like it'll probably end up taking them about an hour and a half, 2 hours to end up making it.
Got it. I have a point of exhaustion, which means I think I'm at half speed at level 1 exhaustion. I
I
forget.
think that's level 2.
Oh, okay.
I
So
think
I think
level
I
1
have...
is disadvantage against on ability checks, maybe?
Let me look at
Oh,
exhaustion.
I didn't know that. I forgot about that entirely.
I'm not
Exhaustion.
sure.
Yeah,
Don't
it
quote
might
me on
wanna...
that.
Yeah, if that means anything, that sucks.
I would like to ask that we take a small break when we figure out what exactly we're doing.
Maybe
when we
like
leave
a
here.
10-minute break or so.
Yeah, 10, maybe 15.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, first level is disadvantage on ability checks, and then
Oh, well.
at second level it's speed halved.
Okay. I'm assuming we haven't been up here enough to be at second level exhaustion again.
Not yet.
Thank goodness.
Okay, well we should probably head inside and let people know what's happening, and then head out that way so we can ambush them.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, if we can cause an accident to take care of the issue, if they were to send forces this way, they don't assume that they found anything.
Yep.
Alright. So you all head back then?
Head back,
Yep.
let everyone know what's happening, we'll take a break, and then we'll go ambush people.
Woo.
I will
Oh,
probably be unavailable for the duration of the break, although I will be setting a timer.
I don't even know where I went.
I
We got
teleported
poofed.
everyone.
To camp! Is this just in a cave, by the way?
Yes.
This is a lot bigger of a space than it feels like it should be. Is this a
I'm-
TARDIS cave?
I was waiting for someone to make the Doctor Who joke this entire time.
Yeah, no, I was holding on to that one for a minute just to see how long it would take for everyone else to make it, but nobody did.
I didn't even know that was a joke.
Yeah,
You made.
fair enough.
Okay.
It's like the #1 joke in Doctor Who. It's bigger on the inside.
Oh, I see.
All right, y'all are back at camp. Break time.
Hell yeah,
boy.
I will be back eventually.
I will mute.
Alrighty. Let me pull up the side story that we have that I must find now because it's buried and I was supposed to do this like the last session, but we just never did. Give me a second, people. I'm trying to find. Come on. It is here somewhere. Is this it? No. No. Yes. Maybe. This is an amazing experience for everyone watching. Everybody loves this.
I appreciate it. I will appreciate the reality here. I will be leaving the call momentarily, and I'll rejoin on my phone so I can walk around. I'm kind of tethered to my computer at the moment.
No worries.
I'll be right back.
Here. Yeah, go away. I get it. There we are. All right, here we go. Finally. Oh, today's break is from the point of view of Isopod, the Venom scare. Today had been busy with endless orders upon orders. All of them had been customized, all different little sugar sculptures. They had been ordered for various parties and galas and balls and important conferences. Every hour, a massive crowd of dragons would rush in and out, and Isopod was slowly starting to get more and more overwhelmed with it all. He'd begun feeling lethargic, but he tried his hardest to keep up with everyone else. Every time he turned around, though, he felt a bit dizzy. He needed to keep pulling through, had to keep up the work. He had been trying to earn the money to make the following week special. That would be his first anniversary with her. What was he doing again? He was in the middle of the kitchen, just standing there, head pounding, heart shuddering, legs feeling like fragile creations he'd been in charge of. Even his stomach felt uneasy. Had he had anything to eat today? No, he couldn't recall. So maybe he was just hungry. He had to drag himself to a little break area, trying to steady his breathing as he shuddered. The air around him suddenly felt so blazing. Why was it so hot in here? And was it hazy? He must have been starving. When he let himself rest, thankfully without any currently waiting customers, he found some of the preserved meats he'd brought with him and forced it down his painfully tight throat. Ugh, it almost tasted rotten. Why did it taste so off? He'd taken every precaution to keep it well preserved, and he'd only hunted it a couple days before. Suddenly, Isopod felt more unsettled. His scales crawling, both freezing cold and blazing hot, and he found himself very quickly losing the little bit of food he actually could get down. Though there was more bile, and was that blood? Before he could think anymore, he stumbled a few feet and fell. He tried to cry out, but he couldn't hear from the ringing in his ears. Whether he actually did call out, his sight slowly blurred and thinned to a pinprick of light before everything went dark, and finally the pain was gone. When he awoke, He first felt a deep aching in every little nerve in his body. Then he heard muffled something, like someone talking. Then the beeping and sobs. After a few minutes of trying to prepare himself, the light he felt on the other side of his eyelids causing his head to pound as if a bunch of bullet ants had found their way into his skull and couldn't get back out. Finally, he managed to pry his eyes open, only in a squint. When he could finally see through the blinding light, he heard himself groan painfully. What happened? The sobbing stopped for just a moment, and then the painful squeeze of a dragon wrapping tightly around him forced out a cry from his throat before the pressure quickly loosened up. When things were more clear, he realized just who had practically squeezed the life out of his frail body. And before he could say anything else, that usually crystal-like voice, sounding almost broken, like nothing worse could have happened, was heard. Isopon, you, Schaefer. He sent a messenger as fast as he could, and you, I was in a meeting, and she trailed off, hugging him painfully tight again. The hybrid found himself puzzled as he fought his own body and pain to put a talon on her head gently, trying to calm her. He was trying to look at her, but had to close his eyes again. That light was so awful, painful. After some time, practically sobbing out, she finally continued, You were so sick. You weren't breathing or moving. And when he found you, there was blood and foam next to you, and that's what it was. He gently squeezed his free claws together, then moved his other to her cheek as his voice creaked out painfully. Uh, I'm sorry, Mantis. I didn't think. I didn't think you'd ever have to. He paused for a few moments, coughing and hacking as he turned his head away. Even that hurt his head. His entire body heaving like this might cause him to break, too. I forgot my anti-venom this morning. It was so busy, and he was cut off by a pained, growling yell as the pressure practically yanked itself away. You knew? You knew there was something wrong with you? What is it then? Is this normal for you? Isopod winced as he was yelled at. He had expected her to be upset with him when he put two and two together, but it still hit him hard. The guilt he felt was secondary, but only because the smallest sound hurt his head. He muttered quietly, despite hating himself for having to ask this. I know you're mad. Just please don't yell. No, not right now. Mantis growled at him, though her growl was wet with anguish. It was also quieter. You almost died. You deserve more than just being yelled at. He simply nodded, not even trying to reach for her, lest that be the wrong move. I do. You're right. I'm not well, Mantis. I didn't want you to worry, and I thought I had it under control, and he'd been cut off by the feeling of bile trying to come back up his throat as he moved his talons to cover his mouth. Despite everything, his most beloved quickly got a container and brought it to him before he could get that horrific substance out. It's green and red and black. That same horribly anguished, wet voice, the same pain. He hated that he'd caused her this much pain. That green. It's my hive wing venom. It attacks my own body. He finally moved his talon, slowly, finding the other's talon. I was hoping I would never have to tell you that I'm always on the verge of death. The hive wing had let out a small whimper, but she squeezed his talon tightly. Are you gonna be okay? Her voice was uncertain, like she might be on the wrong end of a stinger if she said anything wrong. I will be. It'll just hurt a lot for a while. Usually I don't get this bad. His ears pinned back as he sighed to himself. He regretted so much that of all days he forgot to take his medicine today. Mantis was mostly quiet, the air of just complete pain and devastation. She felt betrayed, didn't she? Like he'd lied to her? Didn't he, though? Just by not telling her such vital information so she could at least know beforehand what that entailed. He wouldn't blame her if she wanted to leave him. It was a lot to date someone already, but someone who was always sick that this could happen to, that was a whole other issue. Suddenly that grip around him came back, the light buzzing from her back sounding near him as she whispered quietly, "Just please don't ever lie to me about something like this again. Never again, my love. Never again." His voice faded, and so did the rest of the world, though this time there was some peace. Being in the embrace was the best thing that could ever happen to an abomination like himself. And with that, we are back.
Well, that was great. Very well written, I gotta say.
Thank you. It's also well read.
Oh, I try and put a little bit of the acting and whatnot that I've done in my past, all as a
Yes, I shall.
all as a child and teenager, but still.
It helps. I'll be.
Nope.
Oh,
Alrighty, back to our board.
doing bad.
Oh boy.
I lived.
Summon.
Woohoo.
Oh.
Here we are. Hi. I would like to breeze through this segment here. I was thinking about it while we were doing the story. If we had to guess, how many people here are fighting capable?
Of the survivors, mostly.
Yes. Yes.
At best, you could probably end up gathering about 20, 30 people.
Based on what the numbers we know of, will we need that many people? Is the question.
Potentially. It depends on how you go about it. If you decide to
Oh,
go
dear.
for a straight-on battle, you would absolutely need to. However, if you end up doing something clever, you could probably end up pulling it off with who you have with you right now.
Well, I would like to instruct the group and the everybody. We'll have them all assemble around, like maybe the three middle fires, and we'll talk to them about how we're probably going to try and ambush them, somehow killing them all without having to really get into too much danger, if we don't have to. I know for sure we want as many people to be safe as possible, so staying hidden here in a honestly pretty well hidden environment makes sense to me. It lasts that one lasts a minute, Athena.
I didn't even mean to do that.
That's
I
fair.
was trying to open up the information tab.
But yes, I think. What do you guys think? Honestly, what do you think we should do?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that causing an avalanche would probably. I think that trying to be sneaky about things that cause an avalanche on the incoming forces would probably be best.
We do have someone who can throw a fireball at the side of the ravine that they're going to be going through and all that.
Yup.
Yes.
They can also
So-
put a wall of fire up on one end.
Or basically box them in with the wall of stone you have, or the coral wall in this case.
Oh yeah, coral wall. Heck yeah, we can do
Where-
that.
Where's Elm? There's Elm. Bam.
Yeah.
Elm, do
Yes,
you think you're in fighting shape at this point?
I could. Yeah.
Well, I want you with me. You can keep the crystal if you want. That's fine. It's actually safer if we have it, but yeah. I'd like you to come with. I know you've probably been in that box for a bit long, but it feels nicer having you around. She is saying this in such a way that people might hear her talking like that, but she's not explicitly talking to other people
Yeah.
or loud enough for other people to hear.
Well, I suppose that you're not so bad yourself, Warden. And you can tell by how long you've been spending with her that is her admission of she does like being around you.
Yeah, I figured that much already. Well, given that Mantis is, I'm gonna have Glimmer approach the rest of the group with this one. Given that Mantis is effectively not suited for combat whatsoever, it may be best that she remain here and stay safe. Moss and Elm can go with, unless you'd prefer Moss not to go.
I
Fine.
think that she's quite ready for things yet. I want her to understand magic more before she gets involved in battles like this. And
Why don't
ultimately
we
best
ask her
for
what she wants?
Yeah. Glimmer's gonna speak in human. What would you prefer, Moss? Do you want to go with us and help us fight, or stay
If she
here?
stays here, she can help protected people from anyone who manages to get through. A contingency, if you will.
Glimmer's gonna add that part too, that Isopod said that.
I want to be able to help.
Well, okay. If you want to help, probably the most important thing that I could ask you to do, be strong mentally. You're gonna, you know how life is, but this is a lot more than life should be. If you stay calm and stay focused, you'll be a lot more effective, you know?
She nods a little bit. I think that I can do that.
I can make sure people don't get hurt, so don't worry about that.
She nods a
You've
bit.
seen me do it before. But I think I'm ready for a lot worse.
And
As
with
for Mango, what
Yeah.
would you like to do?
Mango doesn't like seeing people hurt, as far as you've seen so far. Anytime there's a conflict where you guys are even arguing with each other, you've seen he kind of looks away. He doesn't like any form of confrontation.
Mango, I know you don't like all the fighting and all that, but if it comes down to it, would you do your best to help these people here? Even just preventing there from being a fight in the first place.
I can do my best, but I
Hello?
can't do much.
My
You
pod.
are apparently wigging out over here, Aaron. It appears you're going on and offline on
Oh,
Tailspire, like
yeah.
very, very
Hello?
rapidly.
Hmm.
Hello?
Hello. I think he's crashed.
Yeah, I think so
I think
too.
so too. Well, what was Mango saying? I lost track.
That he would do what he can, but he's not able to do much. And
I
Even
part of
oh,
that
sorry.
is because of the
I think I crashed for a moment.
yeah,
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
You're good.
Hard.
and part of that is because of what has been placed magically on him.
Does that also restrict him from being able to cast any magic other than what he's ordered to? I forget.
More or less, he can't really cast any magic for anybody except for royalty or the humans and whatnot.
I'm going to have Icepod go up and put his hand on Mango's shoulder and say, "Well, it's all right. Your best is all we can ask for. Although, if you're able to cast any magic at all to help these people, if someone gets through, we would very much appreciate that."
He nods a small little bit.
Yeah. He's kind of subtly saying, "Hey, use your magic," without actually saying, "Use your magic."
As long as one of the scavengers asks me, I can do so, as long as it doesn't go against anything else I've been told I can't.
Even. Alright. I think the best thing we can do then is have them ask for simple things, really. A wall of stone to block them off so they can't get in that you can just later remove or something like that. I mean, I guess we could do that, but
none of us are royalty.
I
yeah.
can't give it from any of you, just the scavengers.
Well, we should probably just find someone to ask for it.
You did potentially plan on leaving Moss here. You could leave Moss there with him to ask for those things.
I'm gonna relay the fact that Moss has to ask for specific things to Moss.
Yep, you do so. Simple enough.
Yeah, so at the very least, the primary method of defense that I have instructed Moss to ask for would be put up a wall of stone that can later be removed by us and us only, basically.
Yeah.
Or like anybody that needs to, that isn't actively trying to kill it. Basically, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Can't wait to have to be much more specific next campaign.
Right.
Are you
Yeah.
ready to head off to the ravine?
Combat? Hell yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
As long as we're not dealing with 200 people this time, I'll be fine.
You're not.
All right.
In
Yay!
fact, it's more of a event than a specific combat.
Oh, okay.
Woo!
I like combat though.
Yeah, don't worry. You will eventually get your combat. It's mostly going to end up being, dragon on dragon.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
boy, dragon on dragon.
I
That's not
love killing
horrifying at
dragons.
Both summon you guys
Oh.
here.
Oh
And
god.
let me actually get some music because this is very quiet.
Oh, so this is the ravine.
It's a little bit one-sided, yeah.
Where is wind freezing sound? And
Wind freezing sound.
we are gonna go battle Helmdar, whatever that is. Bam.
Oh.
And let's go ahead and put you guys over here.
Oh.
There y'all are. As you eventually make your way over here, you can tell that the ravine that you're in is kind of more of a cliff's face where you'd be looking over an ocean.
Huh.
A lot of what they're
So I
standing
can-
on currently is either extremely thin ground that barely has anything growing on it like these trees, or has so many things easily able to be knocked over that it could crush a ton of them. Because otherwise you're facing a large army.
What were you gonna say, Athena?
It turns out I can, in fact, just box them in.
We.
Okay. Taking stock here, is there any individual among this whole horde that looks anything familiar to us?
Yes. And the only reason why is because a lot of these people look like a lot of the civilians that you failed to save.
Oh no.
Oh. Oh boy. Any specific
Just a moment.
individuals of note?
Nobody in particular that you know.
Okay.
So it's like 50 feet across. Almost 10.
If you're trying to box in that entire horde, it's probably not gonna work.
You wanna know something kind of terrifying?
Mm.
I can make a wall of fire that's up to 60 feet long, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick.
You can just shoot a straight line through the whole horde.
Yup, I sure can.
Yep. Because
Oh my god.
that right there is 50 feet.
I'm gonna do that.
Yep. This isn't the full army. This is kind of like a section of it. Otherwise, this map would be massively long. But you could definitely end up, destroying a very large portion of it. You could also
Oh, yeah, I'm
try
gonna
and
use-
end up breaking the ground to sink them into the ocean, knock a bunch of this stuff on the sides down to crush a large portion of them. Just giving you some ideas here and there.
Before
Well,
before we
let's
do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and does this have not concentration? I'm gonna go ahead and cast aid on the party, just the 3 main dragons, and we gain 5 max HP for the duration.
Yep, sounds good.
And I'm also gonna cast bless, which is concentration, but that's only when we actually start to do anything.
Okay. Well, I'm going to officially cast a wall of fire right through it.
I think it's
Oh dear God.
this, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm?
Yeah, there we go. Wall of fire.
Oh boy, that'll be fun. Oh yeah. They'll just mess up a whole chunk. Cause I think it's let me look. Each creature that ends its turn within 10 feet of that side or inside the wall takes 5d8 fire damage.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. How far across? Oh my god, that's all of them.
Yeah. As long as, like, down the middle, like I was intending.
Yeah, instead of having it so that way you can't see anybody, if I put it down the middle, I put it just a little off to the side. But yeah, it's down the middle.
Yeah, fair.
The motherfucker
Okay.
really went, I cast burn.
Let me actually see how far across this is.
Yeah, that's 50
Let me
feet.
see.
That's not even 60.
Oh,
my
Or
god.
they're
It's,
just like dead. They're
Yeah.
just dead.
all of them are,
them.
are being melted.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Well, they all take 5d8 damage.
yep. Go for it. Go ahead and roll. And I need to roll
Oh,
something on the
actually-
side as you're doing that.
Oh, it auto rolled to 23 fire.
Wait, that's not enough. Hang on, let me just drop that because that's pointless. Ignore that.
21.
All right, you said 5d8, correct?
Yes.
Damage has been rolled already, so.
I will also mention, because I didn't mention it earlier, he, hold up. I used meta magic to cast that subtle spell, so I spent a sorcery point to do that.
Oh, silently.
Ooh,
Yes.
very nice.
I suddenly set this whole stretch of enemies on fire.
Yeah.
You completely and utterly decimate a massive line of these undead looking creatures, and you watch as a large section of the land begins to kind of burn away and ice begins to melt and whatnot. Anyone next? Because there
I
is
would like
still
to-
more army and whatnot.
Where are they at? Because the spell engulfs all of them at that range.
As I ended up saying, this isn't the entirety of the army.
okay.
This is like a section of it.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess at this point I just need some visual representation of what I'm doing exactly, to be honest.
Well, like I said,
Let's
there's a
see.
few options. You can end up knocking over some of these rocks, some of the ice. You can end up heading down there and fighting if you really and truly want. You could try and break off this small section of land in order to sink all of them.
I suppose I could. I have literally no spells that do anything to help in this situation.
You don't have anything ranged to attack
I
with?
have literally no ranged attacks.
Yeah,
You have no ranged attacks.
that's purposely why
Darn
I put
paladin.
some of these guys, some of these rocks. That's why I purposely
Oh,
put
yeah.
some of these here. I
Yeah,
put
I
some
know.
of these
I'm just
ice
debating
pillars.
which one would be the best. I suppose Glimmer would probably go up to some of those rocks and just start pushing as hard as she could. Because that's all I can do.
Alright, go
I
for
do unfortunately have disadvantage on every fucking thing I'm doing, so
go ahead and roll an athletics check.
at disadvantage. Yay. Well, I would have a nat 20, but I got a 24 instead. Is that still good enough?
Yeah, it's still good enough. You knock over one. Go ahead and point one out for me.
That one.
Alrighty, you move up here. You knock this
Yeah,
over.
I'm gonna move there. I'm gonna move myself up there, so they will probably see me at some point, but
Let
yeah.
me sink this into the ground a little bit as you completely end up utterly smashing a section of the land as it breaks. And you do end up crushing a good bit of people as well on top of that.
Yeah. I suppose Pine's turn.
Yep. Go ahead, Pine.
What's the pinging tool again?
T.
Oh. I'm pressing P, but it's not.
E.
E?
Like the letter T. Like
T.
yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
here
There's literally an ability. Oh, never mind. I'm stupid.
Yeah, Rasa is going to try pushing, or is going to try curling this, like using as much of her strength to actually instead of flying and tumbling down as she could. So
But
that
come
would be
on.
an athletics check again? Or what
Wait,
check would that be?
Sorry, one more time.
Basically, she's trying to send this flying to
That one.
start causing a bit of an avalanche.
Ah.
What check would it be?
Athletics. Sorry.
Well, there's not really much of an avalanche to happen here, to be fair, I don't think.
I got a 19.
19 is more than enough. You knock it over as well. And I set up the avalanche for you guys
Oh, there is an
specifically.
avalanche, okay.
Yeah, with these little bits of ice that are kind of hanging here. Those are your kind of avalanche points and whatnot that you can cause. But otherwise, you
Alright.
said you knock over that one. So let me go ahead and just sync that a little bit.
Hmm.
I need to roll another set of dice.
Let's see how crispy they are.
Oh yeah, the fire's still happening, by the way. They're still taking
Yeah.
damage.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it lasts up to, let me see, 10 minutes.
The heat just continuously pours out from all directions of this wall. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is Isopod's Rage.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is his signature spell, I assume.
It is now.
Does this
And-
mean I have to make another Isopod magic card?
And
Maybe.
with that, I will apologize in advance, as this was more of a trick you into something moment.
Oh no.
Do you remember what the name of this episode was?
I do
Oh
not.
no. As above, so below.
Oh, they're gonna. Okay.
They're gonna return it. Oh no. There's a snake. This
Oh,
is the
there-
below. Oh
It
no,
is-
this is the below.
It is much larger than this, but this is as big as I can make it. As you end up officially melting a large section of ground, and you smash a large section of ground as well, you've created enough of a break into it where the snake that has been trapped underneath the frozen ice for a very long time is able to finally bust its way through and officially come out. You are now
Congratulations.
officially in combat. Now everyone may roll
Oh.
their initiatives.
Of course, it's
Oh,
right next to
no.
me, right?
Okay, it still takes some damage though.
It did have
From
to
the
go
fire.
through the fire, didn't it?
It did. It did not
Natural
roll very
20
well.
on initiative.
5.
For a 23, by the way.
I am going to lose my mind with the rolls I get on roll 20 because it's either oh wait, it's just barely worked, or it's absolutely, which I got a 5.
I got a 5 on initiative.
Alrighty, so that would be you. Which one of you has the higher dex between the two 5s?
My dex is 16.
I have 13.
Alright, so that would be you then you.
I mean,
And
you
then
could
this
also just
thing
let
rolled
Pine go
horribly.
first if you wanted.
What?
If you could also just let Pine go just ahead of you, since you're both on the same roll, really,
I could.
if you wanted.
I don't care either way.
I forgot to add Elm. Let me roll Elm.
Oh, yeah, Elm. I'm assuming Elm is with me actually, so I'm gonna,
Yeah, go ahead and
scoot.
drag.
Just gonna put Elm there on the ground, holding the crystal in the backpack this time.
Bam. Bam. Alright. Turn order has been applied, and the actual official battle has started. And again,
it's a good thing that
this thing
until
is-
the snake is up on top of us, it takes damage every time it starts its turn.
Oh, there is a larger size.
Oh God! Move it out of my
Oh,
face,
no.
please. Don't make it eat me. I'm not tasty like that.
It's in the middle of the fire now. Haha.
This is closer to the size. It's still a little bit larger than this, but this is closer to its
God,
actual
really?
size.
Did it actually crush some people when it came out of the ground?
These ones were all dead, but otherwise the dead bodies are crushed.
Yay!
But
That's less people to deal with, right?
yes.
Yay! I
But
think.
it's called As Beloved So Below because you saw Serpent Peak and how I mentioned it seemed like it was alive at one point. Well, this is part of the same thing.
I figured.
Is this
I
its wife?
figured.
This is the wife. It's not happy.
Angry
Oh no,
wife.
it's the wife.
All right, who's going first?
Well, by the looks of time, we'll be able to end up maybe getting one full round in before we have to end. So we could get that one round if we like, or we could hold this here until next session.
Maybe it might be best to hold it until the next session.
Okay, I want to check one thing. If I make a single attack, I'm not gonna count it. I just want to see what happens when I do it. Okay, that was a 14. Never mind. I'm not even gonna
That's
count
funny.
it, even if it was a higher roll. I just wanted to roll an attack for the session.
That's fair. Yeah, next
So
session we will
You just want
begin
combat.
with death.
Oh boy.
I would like to let you know that death is not allowed. No, thank you.
Oh, fair. Okay. You know what? You said it, and you have all the power.
I do clearly. I can't die. You know. Well, no, Elm can't at least. Why don't we just beat this thing with Elm and have Elm fight her way out?
Just
Yeah,
feed,
that's a good idea, actually.
Just feed Elm to the snake.
She can
Elm
kill it
will
from the inside.
eventually kill it.
Yeah. We might all be dead by that point, but she'll get.
Yeah. She can like literally stab it on the insides, you know?
It's just Buck from Ice Age. Did you die?
Yeah.
Sadly, yes. But I lived.
Hilarious idea, actually. If we had time to prepare it, we could have stored a fireball in Glimmer's ring and then just thrown a fireball into its stomach from the inside.
Oh, that would suck for it.
But with that, we will go ahead and end our session, as I always love ending our sessions with some form of cliffhanger.
It's a fun cliffhanger.
This is not a cliffhanger. This is a giant snake that is literally the biggest thing I've ever seen. I mean, this thing must be related to dragons.
It's a dragon bite viper, oh no.
Oh god, it's a gigantic...
It's oversized.
It is a giant poisonous serpent snake blue.
Oh man, the GPSS. The sliff sniff sniffer. I can't remember how it's exactly said in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, but there's something like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about too, and I started
Same.
choking. Yeah, alright. I
Anyways.
think that's the end of that.
I hope everyone here ended up enjoying the session who is watching it, whether they're watching it on YouTube or if y'all ended up watching it live here with us on Twitch. We hope to see you guys next time. But for today, that's going to be it. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.